and welcome to B2B Topics and Tips, bringing you the latest buzz about small business topics, tips, and expert interviews. Watch live or watch later. Drop any questions or thoughts into the comments, and if you're watching later, feel free to use hashtag replay. Hi, I'm Melissa St. Clair, Communications and Standard Operating Procedures Specialist at Paper Chaser Biz LLC, a certified military spouse-owned enterprise. And I am excited to have a special guest today, Pamela Kollman, wellness educator and marketing executive. Welcome, Pamela.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, a funny story about how Pamela and I met. A colleague inadvertently shared my contact information with Pamela for a networking call. And even though we discovered I wasn't the intended Melissa, we held the call anyway. And we've been having some networking calls ever since. So it's a great pleasure to have her on the show today.
It was a delightful accident.
So, as a health and wellness educator and certified fitness professional, Pamela has been in the fitness industry over 40 years and is passionate about helping people. She educates individuals on how to discover hidden toxins in the home and or office so that we can choose healthier, safer alternatives to toxic products, bringing greater safety to our health and the health of our planet. Founder of Health Matters, Pamela has made it her business to know what will bring greater health and wellness through education and access to alternative products. Her motto spells HOPE, H-O-P-E, and I love a good acronym as a military spouse. Her HOPE stands for Help One Person Every Day. So thank you for tuning in, and I know that you are going to get some great information today as we talk about discover hidden toxins in your home office. So, wow, I guess we should just dive right in.
Yes, that sounds good.
What is the most important information regarding common household products?
Well, first of all, I have to say that we've all been subject to unwittingly, trying to clean our homes and hurting our health and not even knowing it. We go down the cleaning aisle, and I call it the chemical aisle because you can really go down that aisle without your eyes burning or you're coughing. So the most important information that I like to educate people about is about those particular toxins that we're unaware of that are really making a difference. And ask the question, is our home a healthy home? It may be clean, but is it a healthy clean? And when you think about it, clean and green rhyme, but they should go together. In other words, eco-friendly, clean products that we're using. Jim Rohn, I had the privilege of meeting, and he said, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And I think that's really true, but also our planet is our home after all. So what we use for our home and for our health makes a huge difference. And so that's, to me, the most important information that really affected me was just thinking, wow, why are these products allowed on the store shelves? Well, it's because of the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act of 1966, where they actually agreed to allow anything goes as long as you meet certain requirements. But there was no requirement for the product to be safe, no requirement to list every ingredient in the product, but only they put the label on there to limit the liability. So there are warning labels, but who really reads that fine print that actually can say, have a hazmat suit on before you use this product practically. And the harsh truth, the American Cancer Society brought out that actually back in the 1910s, only 1 in 8,000 people were diagnosed with cancer. Wow. Today, it's 1 in 2. And they attribute that to the chlorine gas that was used during the war, and that this was they had to do something with that stockpile of chlorine, so it went into the household cleaning products, and this was known as the chemical age. And so all these things that came across came into our home affected our health, and not only cancer, but ADD, ADHD, allergies, and so forth. So they really are dangerous, and it's important to know, because maybe, like you mentioned, my motto is hope, help one person. Well, maybe helping one person won't change the whole world, but it may change the world for that one person. And it's really, really true. For example, one friend of mine, her name is Laura Lawson. She lives in Big Timber, Montana, and she cleans houses for a living like her mother did, and for decades. And little did she know that she ended up with asthma and allergies, and her mother actually died of lung cancer. Well, come to find out, with the recent years, last a couple of years ago, a study came out that's actually written up in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine, and it's called the Lung Study, that was done in an independent study. It was done in 22 health centers around the world. Over 6,000 people took part in that study. And what they found was that people who cleaned their home even once a week with certain cleaners, it was just as bad as if they smoked a pack of cigarettes a day for 20 years. They took those 6,000 people, and those non-smokers and smokers, and they compared their lung over all those years. It's just alarming to discover that. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I too had a dear friend who cleaned homes, as occupational cleaner, and sure enough, she lost a lung. So if we can help anybody educate themselves, some of the lung study, I think, will be available on a link here, right, that you're going to include for us. But some of the things it mentions, labeled right on there, is Clorox bathroom cleaner, scrubbing bubbles. And I used to be a commercial for that stuff. I didn't know, but knowledge is power, Melissa, you just, when you learn something, okay, wow, I have to tell somebody about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought you had to have bleach in your house. I didn't know that every 30 seconds a child is poisoned from bleach, and it's not getting into it, it's inhaling it. That's the problem. And do you know the CDC even discovered that Monsanto for 30 years covered up the fact that they had the very popular Lysol product had Agent Orange in it. So how many people were harmed by this? Nobody knows. But what we do know is that this study is really critical for people to get to read and take a look at, and check out check out the source. There's a whole list. I can't go over all of them, but Cascade, for example, I used to love that stuff. It has a neurotoxin in it, like 409 does. Dawn dishwashing detergent and Pledge. There's a study from Mayo Clinic that lists a list of products with formaldehyde in it. I mean, that's embalming fluid. And you don't want to have that while you're living in your bloodstream, right? And what you put on your skin, it's in your bloodstream in 26 seconds. So it's really, these are the kind of things that you can tell I really care about a lot about. I care about helping people understand that, you don't have to have these things in your home to clean your home. You can have a clean home and a clean conscience, because what we rinse down the drain, it's still on the planet. It's out of sight for a minute, but it's still on the planet. So we really can make a difference, all of us, little by little, and understanding that these things that are on the market today, oh my goodness, we really don't need them, but there's so many findings in that study that obviously would take a long time to talk about. But I think one of the ones that surprised me was using a wipe or a spray just once was equal. I thought the spray would be worse, but the wipe evaporates the same chemical. So same exact issue. Only using one wipe in 1 week's time was equal to 7 packs of cigarettes. I just can't even I still can't, I can't believe that. So anyway, we know what people use way more than one spray during the last couple of years. They used more than one spray a day. So with all that we've been dealing with, in the past couple of years. So it's really important that there is something else you can do.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the information. It's staggering what you don't know until you start getting educated. And, when you're in the store and you go past the cleaning aisle, I just avoid it at all costs because then you start asking yourself, well, what does clean really smell like?
There,
Clean should be.
there, there you go. That's a good point. I didn't think of that because it doesn't have to smell like bleach to be clean. It can smell like lemons,
Right, right.
or something like that. That's a good thought there. I never
Yeah.
I never thought about what does clean really smell like. I have to keep that one in
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah, you're welcome to use it.
Yeah. And when we mentioned home and home office, the reason why I mentioned the office is because we go to our offices, or people who do work, and people who work from home really have to watch, because there was a 15-year study showing that 54% of women who work from home had a higher percentage of cancer than those who didn't, because of their home with off-gassing and chemicals, because the ones in the store are sealed, the ones at home are open. But anyway, in the office, there you are. Maybe they sprayed down your whole desk with Pledge with formaldehyde in it, or maybe there's Lysol in the bathroom. So it's something that we have to be aware of. And like, you could even sit farther away from the restroom if you're in a restaurant, because you probably, I kind of avoid going in places where I know that it's going to be there. I'd rather not get any. We can't, get off the planet, but we can do the best we can and
Right.
make better choices. That's really all it is.
Yeah, I love that. Make better choices. So, can you tell us a little bit about what alternatives are available?
Yes, I would be very happy to. I was very happy to find out about the very first EPA registered plant-based disinfectant that actually replaces Lysol. It's called Soluguard, and it literally is thyme oil and lemons, and it will kill COVID. It kills 99.999% of all germs, just like Lysol does, but doesn't kill you too. So that's my favorite, and it comes from the wellness company. It's Melaleuca is the name of the company. It's actually a manufacturer and a store, and they're based in Idaho. They've been in Idaho Falls. They've been around for 36 years. They are a debt-free, privately owned manufacturer. So they're not an MLM company, but they are different. They actually invented the whole factory direct thing. So they make it and ship it to you. And they had so much Soluguard available that when everybody ran out of Lysol and they're, what do we do? What do we do? They shared their Soluguard with everybody, and so
Wow.
they never ran out. They are very ethical and very amazing a company, and they have a lot of things you can do. There are things that you can go to the store and find. For example, eco-friendly products that are available, like Methods of a Generation. Those type of, at least they're not toxic to you or the planet. However, I will say that they are mostly water, but at least they're safer to use. But you're paying for water, and where with if you do happen to shop at Melaleuca's store, it's concentrated. So they figure we all have water. Why should you have to buy water and ship water? So, but
Mhm.
at least it's safer. That is some people have discovered those products that you can find in any store pretty much these days.
Yeah, and I love using a concentrate because then you just remix it in the same bottle. You're not buying bottle after bottle, even if it is a cleaner product.
Right, you're
Still,
saving
you're using
plastic.
just one vessel for, over a long period of time. So,
Yes, yeah, and you're not throwing plastic in the environment. So
mhm.
that's true. That I like that thought too. Yeah, that's
Awesome,
good.
awesome. So I guess our last question is, how can we find affordable, safer products that are not affected by inflation?
Okay, good question. I will say this. I have to mention this. A lot of people say, "Well, I just clean with vinegar. That's it. I just make my vinegar or baking soda or whatever." And had one gentleman say, "Well, my wife cleans with vinegar, but you know what? The house smells like a stale salad all the time, So, but it's safe though. It's
What does
safe.
clean smell like, right? What does clean smell
What does
like?
they smell like? Well, that's funny. But you know what? Speaking about the inflation area, this is what everybody's dealing with right now. It just is the way it is. And because when you buy something at the retail store, whether it be the health food store or what have you, you're dealing with all the different middlemen things that have to happen. Either the shipping, the warehousing, and the shelf space that they have to pay for, as well as the commercials that say, buy this product and so forth. So even though it might be a good product, or if there's some kind of a upcharge to pay a distributor or what have you, those things make it a little harder with inflationary times. So I'm really grateful that again, the Melaleuca, the wellness company, doesn't their prices, they didn't raise their prices. The prices have gone down, and they can do that because even though they have high quality, ingredients, they don't have any middlemen, anything. So they make it and they ship it directly to you within like a week. It's not even months old, like usually on the shelf. Like it could be on the shelf space for 3 months or whatever. No, they don't do that. They make it and ship it. It's called just in time manufacturing.
Right.
So JIT manufacturing. So you order it and you ship it, and if you try it and you don't love it, you get every dime back. So that saves money. So there's no risk on trying something. It's hard for brand loyal. I know one girl told me, my grandma used Tide, I use Tide, I'm gonna use Tide, okay, but think about knowledge and power as power. Maybe just take a minute. I understand you love something because it works, but maybe you didn't know about it. Now that you're learning that, hey, it's too much phosphates for the planet and for for your health, and it costs a lot. Why not try something that costs less, safer, healthier, delivered to your door? And if you don't love it, then you get your money back. But if you do love it, like 96% of people that try these products shop every month, and they're not in the business; they just love the store. So I would recommend, of course, let me give you a virtual tour, or just check it out. I think you'd be really impressed.
That's so great. Thank you for that. And so, Pamela, please share your best business tip.
Listen to people. Listen. I think, to me, if you listen, genuinely to each individual, whatever business you're in, take a listen. Don't think about, how I can get that person, how to help that person. You won't know till you listen. And when you listen, not just hear them, but listen to what their need is. Well, of course, then, as they say, that's a lead. But the point is, you can know now how to help them.
That's beautiful. I love that. Listen. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much for joining me on B2B topics and tips. How can viewers connect with you? What's the best way to get in touch?
Pamela Kollman at iCloud.com is my email.
Okay.
That would be the best way, just to email me. And I have a Calendly link as well. But if you email me at my name, Pamela Kollman at iCloud.com, then we can connect in however way what's comfortable for you. Either we can do a quick Zoom, we can do a phone call, what have you.
That is great. That's great. So I know you mentioned along the way and early on about the lung study. Do you have a freebie that you would like to share with viewers?
Yes, absolutely. I can absolutely send that the PDF of that lung study, because that's an independent study. It wasn't done by Melaleuca. It's just a wonderful insight, and it gives you all the different findings, the 7 different findings that they come up with, and gives you a lot of insight and a lot of information. It's a total package, and I can either email you a PDF or the actual copy. I can mail to you, so you can.
Awesome. That's so good. Well, I am beyond grateful for you joining me today, and everybody out there, thanks for watching live or watching later. Again, we'll circle back and check the comments for any questions or thoughts, and just take care.